Hey everyone, it's Movie Lover 120 here, and I am here with my final review of the original 4 REC movies in my Halloween horror movie review series. And of course, that installment is for none other than REC 4 Apocalypse. Now, as you all know, guys, I absolutely hate the hell out of REC 3. I think it's one of the worst horror sequels ever made, and probably one of the worst horror movies ever made. So, when I saw that this was also not going to be a found footage film like the first 2 films, I knew it would also suck. So yeah. I still ended up watching it though, and, well, yeah, it still sucked. It was still horrible, but it was somewhat better to watch than REC 3 Genesis, but that doesn't mean it's good, guys. It's still not as good as the first 2 at all. It's still a horrible movie. And pretty much, well, what's this film about again? Well, it's pretty much set several hours after the terrible events that ravaged an apartment building in Barcelona in the first 2 REC movies. Something new has emerged. Allied soldiers infiltrate the building to put an end to the nightmare. They think their mission is a success. So, the reporter, Angela Vidal, managed to actually make it out alive. But no one knows that she carries the virus inside her because, well, spoilers, guys, if you haven't seen the second one. When she is taken to quarantine, the high-security isolation facility becomes a perfect breeding ground for the virus to be reborn and mutate into even more deadly forms, setting the scene for unimaginable horrors. The apocalypse has just begun. So yeah, this movie is still just as terrible. That's all I'm going to say, but I'm not just going to say it's terrible and just end the review because that would be a really lame review. What is this movie really? Why is this movie terrible, you say? Well, because here's why. Once again, the found footage from the first 2 is still not here, so why is it even called Record if it's not even a found footage film? This just feels more like us, despite having the same characters, it's barely even mentions much from the first 2 movies other than the apartment building stuff. But on the good side of things, Bela Goro is back to direct it. Velasco is back to finish business, and no more wedding shenanigans like in the horrible 3rd movie. It could have been a clusterfuck restoration of a series that commenced with one heck of a statement. The original REC is one of the greatest horror films ever made. The second one is also pretty good. It's not as good as the first one. The third one, no, not even close. Or even this film either. Apparently, but after the third installment, this is apparently the final installment, as they say, was the one to affect us all ferociously. It's actually second worst yet. And it's good reason that, thankfully, it pretty much killed this franchise, right, for good, but now, and plus none of the characters are barely even that cool like in the first 2. In fact, they're just really lame characters that you care nothing about, with the exception of the reporter, and I guess maybe this new character named Angela you at least do care about, and this other new character named Nick is actually the only other likable character in the whole movie, so there's literally most of the small crew survivors literally do is scream, stare, and flee from the oncoming disease. And the zombies in this movie are not even scary. They're just there. Most of the film, they don't. So you're not really terrified by them. Like in the first 2, they just appear out of nowhere, and you're just scared whenever they show up. Here, you already know where they are. You just know when they're gonna pop up. And plus, there's even something so laughably stupid. There's zombie monkeys. Monkeys in it, and their affected growls literally sound like a grizzly bear. In fact, this movie would be a much better comedy because it's so stupidly written. It's so deemed pointless if the film fails to continue with an overarching premise. And basically, it just feels more like a cheaply, badly made Walking Dead episode. So, it's supposed to be called Record, not The Walking Dead. Like, we want to watch a Record movie. We want the found footage Record that made the first two so good. The mediocre acting, once again, like I mentioned, the characters are so stupid. It's even so dimly lit, you can barely even see the movie. Like, and like, also, with Nick being the only likable character, he's pretty much the only true hero of the story. And just, what can I say is, how this move, the final sequence where they battle the zombies, is really not even epic at all. It's just another typical slasher battle you would find in just every slasher movie. It's been done so many times. I'm saying oh yeah, and how they do end the movie? Here's how they end the movie. They end the franchise on such a horrible note. They just leave you hating for a sequel that we're not gonna get. Because we just want to end it on something like that. Because that's how every horror final installment needs to end. Every horror final installment's got to end their franchise on terrible notes. But anyway, how would I rank Rec 4 Apocalypse? Yeah, another thing. There's barely any apocalypse. When I hear the word apocalypse, I thought it was going to mean that the whole entire city of Barcelona was going to have to deal with the whole outbreak. They were going to have to deal with the demon. They were going to have to deal with the zombie outbreak. And if they were found footage and we're having the whole city deal with the outbreak, kind of like how the second one was kind of intending to set up, now that would have been an epic, much more epic movie if it were in found footage anyways, not in normal format. But anyway, how would I rank Rec 4 Apocalypse? Well, here's how I'd rank it. I am going to give Rec 4 Apocalypse a 3 out of 10. Well, and that's it. That's the end of all 4 of the original Spanish Record movies for my reviews. That's it. Got all 4 of them. But I'm not done the series because, well, we all know there was an American remake of the first film. And guess what, guys? My next Halloween horror movie review is for the American remake, Quarantine. Yep. Don't ask why I own Quarantine, guys. I just do. But, yeah. I'm gonna rewatch Quarantine tonight and get my review made for it for tomorrow. Or if I ever... Or just when I feel like making it. But until then, guys, that'll be it for this review. Thank y'all for watching. And if you like this and want to see more, and don't forget to like and subscribe to Movie Lover 120.